Hello and welcome back. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, like, and turn on that bell notification. In today's video, I'm going to be going over how I drew these cat eyes. I'm going to be going over what I like and what I don't like, and what I did right and what I did wrong. You may not be able to tell, but one eye is definitely different than the other, and I'm going to be telling you what I did right and what I did wrong. So let's get started. As always, I went in with white first to map out any reflections that I may see in the eye. So I'm using a slightly harder pressure while doing this, just to make sure the tooth of the paper gets filled in. Next, I'm going to go in with dark sepia. With dark sepia, I'm just going in and outlining the eyes and going into the pupil. I'm using a very light pressure here, so that way if I do make any mistakes, I'll be able to lift it up with a kneading eraser or even an eraser itself. I'm using very small back and forth strokes, making sure I get it down in the correct spots. Going in next with light ultramarine, I'm using this color and I'm actually going around the reflection of the eye and a little bit around the pupil, just because I can actually see there's a slight little blue tint in these areas of the eye. Again, I am taking my time while doing this, making sure I keep looking at my reference photo, just so I know I'm placing this color in the right area. I'm switching back and forth between a small circular motion and a curved line. I'm using a kneading eraser, just going in and getting rid of those pencil lines that I can see in the eye. After this, going in again with dark sepia, I'm going to lightly replace that pencil line with this color. I'm adding a squiggle detail that I can see in the reference photo. If you'd like to see the reference photo, I have linked it down below for you to have a look at. Okay, so this is where you get to see what I did right. So first I went in with ivory as my base color. I'm putting this down with small circular motions. I'm filling in the tooth of the paper and I'm just going all over the eye. I even go over that dark sepia that I placed down for the squiggly line. This is where I started out different than the other eye. I should have definitely looked back at my video to see what I started out with, because I took such a long break in between that I forgot what I did with this eye versus what I did with the other eye. Going in with warm gray 1, I'm using warm gray 1 to map out the slightly darker areas of the cat eye. For this, I go around the pupil, around the edge of the eye, leaving a little bit of the in-between spaces lighter so you can still see that cream color coming through. I'm using small circular motions here. I really wish I could draw this fast in real life. Here's a close-up for you guys of what I've done so far with this cat eye. As you can see, you can still see the cream and the warm gray where I've placed it. Next, I'm going in with earth green. Yes, these cat eyes are yellow, but you can see a slight touch of green in them. So I'm going over the squiggly line that I put down with this color, and I will be going over the edge of the eyes like the water line. And definitely a lot on the upper edge of the eye as well. This green will help with the shadows that you may see in the reference photo. Using a light touch, small circles, and a back and forth motion. Again, make sure you check your reference photo so you are placing this color down in the right areas that you may need it in. The next color I will be using is brown ochre. Rotating my paper so I get a better angle, I'm putting this down again. Using a very light touch, I'm mapping in the darker areas of the eye. These areas are definitely around the edge of the eye and around the pupil. Next color is going to be raw umber. This color I'm going to go over what I just put down with the previous color. I'm also going to be adding a little bit more detail into the eyes with this color, like any flakes that you may see in the eye or any other squiggly lines that you may see in the eye. Definitely go in with this color and it will help you get those finer details to come out. Next, I'm going to actually go in with dark indigo. So I'm going in with dark indigo first to help bring depth into the areas that I'm going to be placing black down. So right now I'm going in with the indigo on the pupil and just slightly around the pupil itself. After I'm done that, I'm going to go around the edge of the eye. I find that placing down indigo really helps just make the eye stand out, and I find that I don't have to press as hard with black once I go over that at the very end. I'm going back in with the ultramarine blue, I believe. I noticed that the blue I placed at the beginning has kind of faded, so I'm just going over the areas like around the reflection in the eye and around the pupil again with this blue, using more of a medium pressure here just so that color stands out a little bit more when you look at the eye. And I'm also doing the same with that earth green. I'm going back in and placing that down. I'm going in just the darker areas of the eye here, like around the pupil and any squiggly lines that I may see. I'm now going to start bringing in the yellow. So starting off with the light yellow ochre. So with this yellow, I'm placing it over all the other colors that I previously put down. I'm also using it kind of to blend out any harsh edges that those other colors may have left. This is where you're going to start to see the yellow kind of come out in the eye. Going in next with dark Naples ochre, I place this color down again around that yellow that I just put down, and then I'm going to take this color slightly into the cream a little bit more. This color is just going to help bring that pop of yellow out that we see in the reference photo. Next, I'm going in with Naples yellow. With this color, I'm just going to place it all over the eye. I do leave a little bit of cream showing, but not much. This color is going to help blend all the other colors that we've put down together, and it's going to help smooth out any harsh edges that there may be. Going back in with the brown ochre, I'm going to go back in and bring back any details that may have been blended out. I'm also going in to darken up any shadows that I see in the reference photo. What's nice about colored pencils is you can layer them up as much as you want, as long as you do not ruin the paper. Again, going back in with raw umber to continue darkening up any shadows and bringing back any details that have been lost along the way. Going back in with dark sepia, using this color to bring back the darkness of the outer lines, and I'm actually going to bring this color in slightly more into the cat eye itself. With dark sepia, if you want to show any lashes details that you can see in the reference photo, you can do that at this step as well if you wish to. To blend all these colors that I've placed down, I'm going back over it all with cream, using a light to medium touch at this time. I am just going over everything with this color, including the cream that I've left untouched. This is just going to help blend it all together and make it look like a nice glassy cat eye. And again, layering that green back on top. Now very carefully, I'm going in with my craft knife or X-Acto knife, if you want to call it that. I'm going to be bringing out the reflections in the eye that may have been lost along the way in this process. So this part here, I'm trying to bring out the white a little bit more that has been lost. I'm using a very light touch while doing this, and please be careful while doing this part. You do not want to injure yourself, and you don't really want to rip the paper either, or else you'll have to start all over again, and we don't want that. And just like the indigo blue, I also like going in with Payne's Gray before going over it with black. If you want to, you can even just stop at this part and not go in with black, but I think black just helps bring more depth into the drawings at the end. And here is a close-up of what I have drawn so far with this cat eye. If you like the look of this eye, then I recommend re-watching the beginning of this video and doing that on the other eye itself. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and leave any comments that you have or any questions that you have down in the comment section as well. If you would like a more in-depth tutorial on how to do cat fur, please check out my channel. I have other videos and I highly recommend you go and watch those. For this video, I'm going to speed these parts of the tutorial up slightly. Again, I recommend checking out my other videos on my channel. And here's the first eye all finished. Again, this one has to be my favorite out of the two, so if you like the look of this one, then just replay the beginning of the video. So for the second eye, one thing that I did the same is go in with white at the beginning and map out any reflections that I see in the reference photo. I do this pretty much for all my art pieces. I do the same with dark sepia, using this first, going around the outer edges and the pupil of the eye. What I do different is I actually started with a different base color. So instead of going in with cream, I accidentally went in with warm gray 1. Now there's nothing wrong with this. I just personally do not like the way the eyes did not look the same. So note to self, do not leave a long gap in between waiting on working on the eyes. I suggest doing them back to back. The next color I went in with warm gray 2. I used this color again for mapping out the shadows that I can see in the cat eye. Just like the other eye, I go in with the light ultramarine to put any blue down that I see in the reference photo. Now going in with that earth green, I'm mapping any dark areas, adding in any squiggly lines. I pretty much do the same here that I did for the beginning of the eye. It's just the base layers, I believe, that I started out differently this time around. Now going in with brown ochre, again using a light touch, adding this in the darker areas of the eye. If you would like more details on what to do, you can go to the beginning of the video again. I do pretty much the same with this color that I did at the beginning. Now I go in with cream, and I'm using this to blend all the colors together. Very light touch. And now I'm going in with raw umber to add any shadows and any finer details that I see in the cat eye. Using more of a curved line here than a circle motion. Just going in around the reflections, adding any shadows, any details that I see. Going in now with that light yellow ochre. Going over all the darker areas with this color. I believe it is at this point that I realized that something isn't matching between the eyes. Going in with dark Naples yellow, I believe that was. Again, trying to get the eyes to match, but not realizing what I did different this time around. Using this color, just going in the darker areas. Now with the Naples yellow, this color I thought would save the whole thing, so I just put it everywhere, including over the areas that I should have really kept light to try and add some more cream into this. Going in with Nougat this time around. I don't believe I used this color at the beginning, so I'm adding a new color here, hoping that it would save this cat eye. With Nougat, I am just going around the pupil, and again in any dark areas that I can see in the reference photo. Going in with that dark indigo, I'm going to go in the pupil and around the pupil a tiny little bit, and then again in the water line around the cat eye itself. I'm going in with my craft knife, trying to fix this eye by removing some of the color. Here I added the squiggle line a little bit too low, so I'm going in and just scratching that out. And now I'm trying to bring back the reflection in the eye that I've lost along the way. This is where the paper started to become damaged because I didn't layer enough while doing this, and I took away too much color and pressed a little bit too hard while doing this part. And I believe it's now that in my head I am regretting all my decisions of how I started this cat eye. I then start to layer my colors back on top, going back in with earth green, with the yellows, all of those colors that I started with, and I'm just trying to fix the issues that I'm seeing in this part of the drawing. Going in with the brown ochre again to add more shadows, because I thought maybe if I go a little bit darker it will help match the eyes together. This color can help bring in some details as well that I have lost while trying to fix the issues. Again, going in with raw umber, adding any details, squiggly lines, flecks or flakes in the cat eye that I see. If you made it this far into this video, I appreciate you sticking around. Payne's Gray next. I'm again going in with Payne's Gray before going in with black to help darken up all the lines, like around the cat's eyes and in the pupil. Going in once again with that dark sepia, hoping that making it darker around the edges will just get the eyes to match. At this point in the drawing, I'm just going to continue layering my colors on top of one another, starting from my lightest to my darkest. I'm trying to bring back details. I'm trying to get the eyes to match. I am fighting through my frustrations during this part of the eye. It's definitely easier to go darker and not lighter. Bringing out the knife again, just trying anything to get these eyes to look similar. Note to self, always start with your light color first and then add your grays and everything on top after. I'm adding in a new color on this eye. It is Warm Gray 3. Again, I thought, hey, why not just go darker? Maybe it will get the eyes to match. It was my mistake for definitely not remembering or writing down the colors that I used on the other eye and taking such a long break in between each eyes themselves. Layering those colors, bringing out white, trying to get that light back in, bringing out the knife, everything I can do to so-called fix this eye. To you guys, it may look nice and how you like it, and if that's the case, then by all means do it this way. If not, and you like the other eye, then again, watch the beginning of this video to get that look. For the fur around the eye, if you are looking for a more in-depth tutorial, I have a few on my page, like I said at the beginning, so please go and check those out. And here is the cat eye study all finished. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe and hit that like button. I hope you enjoyed the video and enjoyed how everybody can make mistakes and practice definitely makes perfect. And remember to do the eyes back to back and don't leave a long gap in between, and if you are, then write down the colors you were using and even look back at your videos before starting the next eye so you don't get in the same predicament I was in. Anyway, see you in the next video. Bye!